Now, we do need to have a short executive session on possible pending litigation and then a brief issue about personnel. We won't be taking any action coming back in afterwards, but prior to us going into session, does anybody have any things? Sam, what you got?
Okay. 4 items. Got a call today from Warren Cade that, as you may or may not know, the Board of Commissioners passed a resolution at their Monday meeting to set up a meeting, to authorize a meeting with the county attorney, county manager, the town attorney, and myself to look at alternatives to work with the state on the Viper Tower. That meeting, Warren has scheduled it with the representatives who are handling the Viper location for a meeting Thursday down at the county manager's office, so that process is underway.
The town of Franklin is officially on record against it, as is the airport authority.
That's right. And I think that's the same feeling of the Board of Commissioners. So, because of the hazards of locating in that area. So we will be meeting on Thursday, and we'll get a report out as soon as that meeting occurs. In the realm of good news, we've been notified that the town has secured a notice of intent to fund the Clean Water State Revolving Fund in the amount of $4,419,815.
Oh, that's a full request, one.
Plus some. Basically, this will enable the town to pull the digester portion of the sewer plant rehab from phase 1.5, actually, phase 2, all the way forward and meld it in with phase 1. And we also have $1 million in rural center grants that will be applicable to this grant as well. The time frame for this would be that we should be able to be out to bid sometime by the spring, hopefully spring or early summer of 2011. And of course, the LGC has to meet, I believe, in January or February to review the authorization and review the town finances, which are not a problem. We've already done the preliminary evaluation. And we don't know yet how much of the program will actually be loan forgiveness or actually converted to the possibility of grants, but the total authorization right now is just for the low interest program.
It's our best option.
Absolute best option. The last time it came out, you're talking about an interest rate of around 2.2% interest.
That's the worst it could, probably, yeah, it could be some forgiveness of it possibly.
Right. So that is good news, and we have that authorization now locked down.
Okay.
And let's see. Did you distribute those copies of the flood study? The folks back?
Yes.
Okay. You'll find passed out in your packages here the state response, long last, for the town's request to review the initial floodplain study data. I suggest you just have a chance to review those options. They saved the operable one to last, in my opinion, but it will result in some changes in the classifications. For instance, the PD, the new PD building, would now be out of the floodplain. Exactly 1/10 of 1 inch.
Wow. I thought you told me 3 feet.
Well, that was the difference, was 3 feet.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But review the data, and it also, I believe, will give us a good bargaining chip to go to the DOT to ask about accelerated expansion or replacement of the culverts, which are now shown to be blocking water exit on Porter Street and on the Old Murphy Road section.
Great, you're on the roll.
And then the last thing is that we have filed for an ISO inspection for the fire department in October of 2011. The aim being to lower the town's effective fire rate, which will also then bring an insurance break to all the properties inside the Franklin Fire District.
All right. Mike, John, board members.
Two things. We have crosswalks on Main Street. We really don't have any place to set up to run radar, and I keep getting complaint after complaint about speeding on Main Street. I'd like to see us talk to the DOT, and where we have crosswalks, see if we couldn't put those traffic calming things. You know, they're just little humps, and they basically also serve as a crosswalk. I don't think radar doesn't do anything to slow anybody down, basically. But those traffic calming crosswalks do. They slow people down effectively. I'd like to see them there. I'd like to see them on Warrior Street, Maple Street, Palmer Street, and perhaps some other streets. But you just don't have enough law enforcement people to run radar on every street in town. And Main Street has really got me more concerned than anything else. And this excuse of, oh, we have to get up speed so we can get uptown hill. If they can't go uptown hill, they need to get a new car.
Sam, don't we run into the perennial issue of it being a state highway and they don't allow that type of application?
Well, what they do allow is limited, but it has to do with clearance, height clearance, to not interfere with snow removal and such things as that. But essentially the state's been allowing that for a while now.
So would anybody be fundamentally opposed to exploring that? I've always just understood that the state didn't allow it since it was a state highway to have that type of, you know.
I wouldn't have a problem. I brought it up last month, and people that were coming up to me and asked about Main Street, how bad it was.
I get probably 8 complaints about speeding on Main Street to every other complaint I get total.
Well, if you got a Volkswagen like mine, you gotta go fast, or you be stuck on.
Let me know and I'll push you.
What else you got?
Well, that's the house crap.
Okay. Joyce?
I'm thrilled to see the sidewalks being put down by Highlands Road and around that area.
So you're trying to get through there in the middle of the day.
That's my next step. Many people are saying, would it not be feasible even during lunch hour to have a patrolman out there directing to move the traffic? Because many a time, nobody's coming the other direction and they're at a total standstill when they could be moving. It was just asked that I asked, so I asked.
I'd go through there on occasion.
I
And
avoid it as much as
the
possible.
traffic, once it gets to that choke point, it don't ever not flow, so I'm not darn sure what they can do to ultimately get it through that choke point. And it's gonna be, how many, a few more days?
We hope, yeah.
They're really slow.
Yeah, they really,
Yeah.
they
They're
really.
not in a hurry, they're not doing late.
One comment is that the traffic lights on Main Street only allows 3 or 4 cars to go through. Now, that would be a simple thing to change, seems to me like.
But if it let them go through quicker, they just hold up there because there's always the one going through the.
Well, once they get through that traffic light there at the Holland Road,
Oh, yeah.
then it's okay. That's what's holding them up. Is the traffic light is only allowing about 3 or 4 cars at the most to go through at one time, because I've been stuck there about 3 times.
It's not the only one around town.
But you think a patrolman at that traffic light might could?
Well, I think they just let a few more cars. The backup is on Main Street, not on the Holland Road. They just need to do something to give it a longer green.
Do we have an idea how many more days of this we're gonna do?
41.
I mean, we're talking another week, 2 weeks? I mean, is it, you know?
I don't know.
I say it'll be at least a week, at least.
That's fair.
Yeah. Do we want, I'm sure Chief Bradley's obviously they're aware of the problem. Would they be on their own out there directing, but they wouldn't have to have our directive to get out there and handle
No,
the
it would be
intersection?
up to the police chief's determination.
Well, the problem is, I'm not sure they do anything about it. Problem is, you know, like if they got the left lane blocked, you got all these people coming down the other lane and people letting them front it.
But Berlin's saying the real problem is at the end,
Yeah,
end point.
it's holding up, it's, the
Down
traffic
there,
light there
the harder.
itself
I
has
understand.
nothing to do with what they're doing. I mean, the rapid changing of it, and I don't know why it's that rapid anyway. You'd think that on the main drag that they'd have a little more,
Well,
a few more cars
the
through.
light's short, but I found coming down the cruise stand, when they got the right lane blocked, you know, they've got the air out. Everybody comes down through there in the right lane, and then
Oh, yeah.
somebody lets them in, and
Yeah.
it's just
Okay. All right.
bus light.
But the only one that's blocked now is the right two lanes. I mean, you know, it's going north.
If it don't rain, they might be lucky to be through the week.
Okay. Anything else?
Mr. Mayor, because we didn't get a chance to put this on the closed session on the agenda, the motion to go into it needs to cite to GS 143-318.11A3 to consult with an attorney, and A6 to consider an employment.
Okay. Motion to that effect.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. We just want to slip upstairs to the conference room.
Anybody have a